Almost a decade after the 2010 Deepwater Horizon disaster,
There we go.
hundreds of scientists are assessing the impact of the largest offshore oil spill in U.S. history. What follows are some of their stories, intimate portraits of research, innovation, and discovery. GoMRI-funded female scientists have made significant contributions to understanding the impact of the Deepwater Horizon disaster on the Gulf of Mexico. Yet many still face obstacles based solely on their gender. What follows is a brief look at some of these issues.
One issue is that a lot of times women and, let's say, minorities, for the lack of another word, they do not have the same opportunities, they do not have the same networks, they do not receive the same mentoring.
Where I have seen the challenges more is trying to break into these networks that are, that are really old boys networks where men are dominating the conversation.
I think I've been very fortunate that I have no horror stories to tell. I went to college in California at UCLA and then went to Colorado State, and maybe those are pretty progressive societies. So I think I've done well. But I think sometimes you get questions from audience members that maybe other men wouldn't get. But I try for the most part to let it go and just do my science the best that I can.
Things have changed a lot during the time that I've been in oceanography. When I started, there were restrictions about going to sea. There were restrictions about a lot of things associated with graduate school and about oceanography. Fortunately, a lot of that has changed. It doesn't mean that things are totally easy. I think that we still struggle to deal with how best to encourage young women to go into science, how best to make it easy for them to have families and to be in science.
I work with some of the female graduate students in our department, and one of the things that I try to encourage them to do is to think of themselves first as scientists and secondly as women scientists, because I think it is important that we don't try to segregate ourselves.
I was one time in a lab and I was using a drill, and a senior faculty member walked by and said, "Should you be doing that?" And I said yes and kept working. So that was my best response to him, is that yes, this is my job.
The demographics are changing, they change every year, but we're still not at a point in most fields of science where it's 50-50 men and women. If you grow up and you never see a woman scientist, and you never see one on television, or you never see one in the movies, or you never hear about one, it's not something that you start thinking about as a direction for you to go. Having more role models is really important for getting more women involved in science.
I'm Helga Huntley. I'm a research assistant professor at the University of Delaware.
I'm Kirsten Kohler. I'm an associate professor at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health.
Vili Kourafalou. I'm a research professor at the University of Miami, the Rosenstiel School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences.
I'm Margaret Leinen. I'm the director of Scripps Institution of Oceanography and vice chancellor for marine sciences at University of California, San Diego.
Today, the scientific community is working together to push the boundaries of what they've learned about oil spills and what still needs to be discovered.